The Western Conference Showdown, Thunder vs. Spurs Blackout Center. Lock the doors and turn up the volume because the Western Conference Finals are officially here and the scripts are being written in pure, unadulterated chaos. Tonight, Monday, May 18, 2026, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs are stepping onto the hardwood for Game 1 and the entire basketball universe is about to fracture. We are talking about an absolute heavyweight clash that feels less like a traditional playoff series and more like a high-stakes, multi-million-dollar thriller where legacies are made or completely obliterated. On one side, you have the reigning, defending champions, the flawless juggernaut trying to become the first team to win back-to-back crowns since the 2018 Golden State Warriors. On the other side, you have an invading force led by a 22-year-old alien who is fundamentally breaking the laws of physics. If you think you know who is walking out of this series alive, you are dead wrong. Let's set the stakes honestly. The Oklahoma City Thunder have been an absolute buzzsaw this postseason. They haven't just won games. They have executed a flawless, back-to-back sweep campaign through the first two rounds, entering the conference finals with a pristine, undefeated record. But as perfect as they've been, the basketball gods just handed them even more ammunition. For weeks, the Thunder have been missing one of the primary pillars of their empire. Forward Jalen Williams went down hard all the way back in Game 2 of the first round, suffering a brutal Grade 1 left hamstring strain that left the team short-handed and the fans in a state of quiet panic. The media thought the injury would derail the repeat. They thought the structural damage to the lineup would be too much to overcome. But Jalen just took to his personal YouTube channel to deliver a chilling message to the rest of the league. He is completely healthy, the hamstring has healed, and he is locked, loaded, and ready to go for this historic bout against the silver and black. The champions' full arsenal is officially online, pulsing with maximum threat. But do not let that seemingly flawless undefeated Thunder postseason record fool you for even a single second, because they are about to run completely headfirst into their first real, truly catastrophic test of the entire 2026 playoffs. Enter the San Antonio Spurs, a relentless invading force descending upon the Western Conference Finals. Unlike the immaculate run of Oklahoma City, the Spurs have actually tasted bitter defeat during this postseason journey, dropping a couple of fiercely contested games along the way. However, don't mistake those minor stumbles for weakness. Their overall path to this moment has been nothing short of a dominant, switch-heavy demolition derby that has left opposing offenses entirely shattered. They just got done absolutely dismantling and psychologically breaking the Minnesota Timberwolves in a staggering 139-109 Game 6 blowout. That definitive closeout game became an instant classic when San Antonio's rookie sensation, Stephon Castle, exploded for a mind-melting 32 points and 11 rebounds. His performance single-handedly eliminated the Wolves and sent a clear, terrifying warning shot echoing across the entire league. The message was unmistakable. The Spurs aren't just happy to have made it this far. They are actively hunting for a crown, and they have the physical tools to take it by force. And at the absolute epicenter of this ruthless Texas uprising is the single most terrifying defensive entity on the face of the planet, Victor Wembanyama. The 22-year-old generational superstar has proven time and time again that the regular rules of gravity and basketball simply do not apply to him. We are talking about a literal human eclipse who has been averaging a whopping, historic, and utterly ridiculous 4.1 blocks per game during this intense playoff run. To put that staggering number into true perspective, his average is more than 2 full blocks away from second place in the entire league, Jarrett Allen, who sits at a distant, conventional 1.9. Wemby isn't just protecting the rim with his historic wingspan. He is fundamentally altering the on-court psychology of every single guard who dares to enter the paint. If you drive on the Spurs, you aren't just shooting against a standard defender. You are launching a prayer against an immovable breathing wall. And here is the absolute doozy that the mainstream media outlets are completely downplaying right now. The regular season metrics heavily favor the supposed underdog. While Oklahoma City has been heavily protected as the season-long favorite to take home the Larry O'Brien Trophy, San Antonio holds a massive psychological edge in the locker room. In fact, the Spurs have beaten the Thunder in 4 out of their 5 high-stakes meetings this season. Let that statistic sink into your mind for a second. 4 out of 5. And the data gets even worse for the reigning champs. San Antonio's average margin of victory in those dominant games was a staggering 11.75 points. They didn't just squeak past the Thunder, they physically overwhelmed them in the trenches. They have the blueprint, they have the imposing front court size, and they possess the absolute momentum required to step onto the floor and prevent Oklahoma City from achieving historic, back-to-back immortality. This entire series is guaranteed to be a brutal war of attrition, and the battle lines are now permanently drawn. Game 1 tips off tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time live from the roaring, hostile environment of the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, and the premium broadcast schedules are officially locked in. NBC is handling the primary television rights, meaning this massive spectacle is making a highly anticipated return to network TV, while Peacock and DirecTV will be streaming the action live for millions of anxious fans across the globe. The environment in Oklahoma is an absolute pressure cooker. If OKC drops Game 1 on their own home floor to a bitter rival that has already defeated them 4 times this calendar year, the panic button will be pressed instantly by fans and analysts alike. But let's talk about the honest, dark risks looming over both sides of the floor. For the Thunder, the return of Jalen Williams is a massive, much-needed boost to their wing depth, but hamstring injuries are notoriously deceptive for a reason. If he rushes back onto the hardwood too quickly and re-aggravates that volatile muscle while trying to guard the perimeter against a high-octane, lightning-fast Spurs backcourt featuring the explosive De'Aaron Fox, the Thunder's rotational depth will be pushed to its absolute breaking point. On the flip side, Wembanyama is entering this series coming off a high-tension postseason where he's already shown a raw, highly emotional dark side, including a stunning, controversial flagrant 2 ejection in the previous round for throwing a vicious elbow to the throat of Naz Reid. If the Thunder's physical enforcers can successfully bait the young giant into early foul trouble or another dangerous emotional outburst, San Antonio's entire defensive fortress could crumble into pieces. The stage is set for a historic collision, and the world is watching. If the Thunder's physical enforcers like Isaiah Hartenstein can bait the young Frenchman into early foul trouble or another emotional outburst, the Spurs' defensive fortress will crumble into pieces. We are standing at the precipice of a definitive moment in NBA history. Will the Thunder protect their home floor, integrate Jalen Williams seamlessly, and continue their march toward a historic back-to-back championship run? Or will Victor Wembanyama and the relentless, switch-heavy defense of the San Antonio Spurs execute the ultimate heist and shatter the Thunder's kingdom? The window is open, the countdown is hitting 0, and the first blow will be struck tonight. If this deep dive breakdown helped you see the strategic matrix of this series, hit that subscribe button right now because we are covering the NBA playoffs daily with hard data and zero filters. Drop your definitive Game 1 score predictions in the comments below. I read every single one, and the most accurate call gets a massive shout out in tomorrow's post-game breakdown. Peace out.